Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom Clark over at TFC IV MMA. We are back, another episode, another fighter interview with a very special guest today. We got PFL welterweight champion Sadibou C. Sadibou, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing very good. It's the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for coming on. So we are a little over a month out since your last win. You had a very impressive second round knockout finish due to body kick. I remember going into that fight, a lot of the media was, hey, there's been a lot of decisions lately. Are we getting the finish? Are we getting the finish? And you certainly delivered with that one. Like I said, body kick in the second round, got the very impressive win. I mean, just how nice did it feel to get the PFL 2023 season started with an awesome performance like that?
Yeah, you're completely right. It was 5 weeks on the day for the last one, and it's 5 weeks exactly on the day until the next one. And yeah, it felt great for a lot of reasons. But just getting back to the knockouts that I promised, and also to get we actually worked on that, so the game plan worked perfectly. So a lot to be happy about.
100%. And this was your first fight. Obviously, you became the champion last year. This was your first fight going into it as the champion. And you've been a guy that's been in PFL kind of since the early days, since it started. Have you
Yeah.
found a difference going into the octagon as the champion? I know several greats, such as Teddy Atlas and others, have said when someone wins the belt, they automatically become 20 to 30% better. Have you found a difference in mentality or confidence since becoming the PFL welterweight champion?
That's a great question. To be honest, I would say that becoming champion last year, everything that I needed to do with the whole season, getting all the decisions, getting all the time in the cage, making the move from Sweden to Las Vegas, all of that played a major part, I believe, to me becoming a champion and for me feeling the way I feel today because I've done the work. So I don't know how much specifically like the title would do, but it doesn't hurt.
100%. It's always good to have it. One thing I did
Yeah.
want to dive into a little bit before we got in your next fight was that move from Sweden to Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas has really become a headquarters. A lot of fighters are moving out there. You got several great gyms, Extreme Couture Syndicate, and many others. We can't even name them all. There's so many
Yeah.
good gyms out there. I mean,
Yeah.
was that the main reason for you wanting to come to Vegas? Was it just the level of top tier fighters out there? We know Sweden has some top guys, Hamzat Chimaev and others, but just not in the quantity as Las Vegas. I mean, what caused you to make that jump from Sweden to come to Vegas full time?
Yeah, so to be honest, leaving Sweden was never in my mind. But 2021 season, the regular season of PFL, because of we were like in a bubble because of the COVID protocols, so I wasn't allowed to fly back to Sweden in between the first two fights. So I came to Las Vegas and I actually found the training here amazing, and so I liked it. So I went back to Sweden after the season, and I felt like a move could be something further down the line. But what I did early last year was 2022 was just I booked a one-way ticket, and I was like, if I like Sweden, the big thing for me is just like you said, Sweden. We have the
Rose up. Can you hear me?
yeah. Can we continue?
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. So Sweden has the quality of both fighters and the knowledge of the coaches and everything, but just like you said, the quantity and so many different bodies out here has been very helpful for me. But more so than even that, has been just for me. Don't and I'm totally focused out here. I don't have any like I love my friends, I love my family, but in Sweden I have so many things, and I call it distractions, just for lack of a better word. And So being here and being away from all the people, friends, and family that I love, I'm just feeling like, okay, I'm focused. I'm doing whatever it takes to get where I want, and I'll be damned if I'm not making this time away from everyone count. So it's been good for so many different reasons.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding. You've been in
Yeah,
Vegas,
exactly.
you become champion. So it's a
Yeah,
pretty good result. So
it is.
as we stated at the beginning, you're 5 weeks from your last fight. You're five
Yeah,
weeks to your next fight. Obviously, being
yeah,
in Vegas, I assume you're training all the time. But the
I do.
PFL has one of the more rigorous schedules. I mean, how do you manage your camps where you're fighting so often in a shorter span?
Yeah, it's grueling. The schedule is one of the toughest part. I'm not the smallest welterweight in the world, so it's not only preparing mentally and physically for your fights. The weight cut is everything. So what I love is when what dates you're gonna fight at. And it's one thing the PFL always stands for is being at advance. So you have everything in your own hands. There's no politics there. Like that guy is gonna go before you in the queue and cut you in line for the title shot or whatever. Is you have everything in your own hands, and I love that. But at the same time, it's grueling. So for me, like when the season starts, there's nothing around it. This is the main focus and the only focus.
There we go. And then your next fight is in June. It's going to be in Atlanta at the Overtime Elite Arena. I think PFL has done a great job of making Atlanta almost like a second home base. I really enjoy
Yeah.
it. I'm only about 2 hours from Atlanta, so I got to catch a couple
Oh,
of the
nice.
fights down there last time. I'm
Nice.
going to try and come down for your fight and some of the other ones
Of
this
course.
time. So, I
Of
mean,
course.
do you like fighting in Atlanta personally?
So for me, I would say I New York, Vegas would be my favorites. I really I was in Texas last year one time, and I like that more as well. I wasn't the biggest fan of Atlanta, but I had a good fight against Rory over there, so I like it for that reason.
There we go. It's always good when you're getting wins. In your next
Exactly.
fight, you're going to be going up against Shane Mitchell. I mean, he's
Yes.
a very good opponent. He had 3 straight wins. He is coming off a loss here. I mean, what do you see in this fight that's going to lead to hand him his second straight loss and getting some more points to add to your regular season total?
I need to first and foremost be me. Focus on uh, coming to the fight best possible, Sadibou, and preparing for whatever that he's gonna be able to bring. Whatever I'm even gonna be ready for if he wants to try to wrestle, even though I don't think that's what I'm saying. But I want to be ready for everything, and for me, that's been my main thing. I've been training so that I'm well rounded. So if we see me taking the fight to the ground, fine. If you see me picking up on the feet, fine. Whatever it takes, we'll do it, and we'll get the finish, and we'll get the hand raised.
There we go. I cannot wait to see it. I know you
Yeah,
said you're well-rounded. You can grapple all that, but you're primarily a striker. I mean, I think I heard you say kickboxing was how you got
yeah,
into combat sports, but can you kind of walk us
correct.
into how you found combat sports and made it a career for yourself?
Yeah, so I was a soccer player when I was in my early teens, and I just tried a kickboxing session and I fell in love with it. So I did kickboxing for the first couple of years, and then I started doing kickboxing and Muay Thai just to get like more opportunities, more fights. And then I wanted to continue doing both those disciplines and add MMA. But when I started with MMA, I fell in love with it, and it was so much more different than kick and Thai boxing than I thought. So I focused everything on that. So
And what
that's
and what
been
brought you to PFL? I mean, is it the season concept that you like? Obviously, the $1 million checks, the championships are
yeah.
nice, but you've been there since the start. What really drew you to PFL compared to the other promotions?
So to be honest, like at that point, everyone was trying to get into UFC or Bellator or whatever. UFC mainly. This was 2018, and my management called me and they said we have something that we're working on for you. It's something huge, it's something new, and if this checks out, this is gonna be something amazing. And when they told me about it, I was like, it sounds too good to be true. But they were able to get me in, even though I wasn't the most experienced MMA wise. I believe I only had 7 fights or something like that when I came in, which was a little bit less than most of the guys, but because of my kickboxing and Muay Thai background, they believed in me, so they gave me a shot. And after that, I just fell in love with the format, and I've been having the opportunity to grow. I believe if you look at how I looked 2018 and if you look at how I look today, uh, of course I've always been able to like win against anyone because I've been a dynamic striker. But there at that point there was a way to beat me. If you took me down and just hold me down, I got tired, and then so I just had to work on that. The PFL gave me the opportunity to year in, year out, grow and get better.
And just speaking about how much the PFL has grown, I mean, I think it's just so exponential in the last couple of years. Big names coming over, Rory McDonald, Anthony Pettis. But two of probably the biggest high-profile signings were actually announced this week. So I'm glad I got you on and can get your opinion on this. One obviously hits a little bit closer to home. Cedric Doumbé was signed. He's going to be in your division. So that's a big one. And then obviously Francis Ngannou. That was the big news that dropped this week. I mean, obviously Cedric could be a future opponent, and then Francis just as an ambassador for the company. I mean, how big are those two signings to just how big PFL can get?
Yeah, like you forgetting Jake Paul earlier this year.
Yep.
Like um, for me, uh, nothing is surprising for me when it comes to PFL because they've been ambitious from the start. Like I told you, when first time I heard about them and what they were planning on doing, I had to ask. I was like, "Are you for real? Is this really what they're planning to do?" And everything that they said they would do, they do. So they are very ambitious and unapologetic, and I love it, and I love to be a part of it. So it's not surprising that names and fighters like that are coming over from different organizations, and I believe we're going to see even more of that in the future.
And as a primarily striker who came to MMA, how do you think Cedric will fare? Do you think there'll be almost a little reality check going from kickboxing to straight to MMA, or do you think he'll be pretty well prepared for it?
To be honest, like he's a champion. I believe that he's smart enough to surround himself with a good team. So I think he will adjust, and I think we'll see him in the top of the world as well in that discipline because of his mindset. But if it will be something that clicks right away, or if it takes a couple of years, we'll just have to wait and see.
There we go. And you'll be waiting there right at the top for him.
I'll be at the top. I promise you that.
There we go. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an honor talking with you. I can't wait to see you get in the octagon next month. I know you promised to finish. I cannot wait to see it. And I hope you have a great rest of your camp and great weight cut, great fight week, and can't wait to see an awesome performance. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you. I hope to see you out there in Atlanta. And for everyone, when my fight is on, remember to don't blink.
Yes, sir. Finish can happen in the blink of an eye.
Yes, sir.